Hello students, this is Shukla Choudhury and I hope all of you are staying fine, well, happy and healthy. By this time you must have memorized the 10 key points that I shared in my previous video. If not, the link is given there. You can check out because those 10 points are very important to understand Julius Caesar. Now in today's video I will discuss Act 1 in detail and also I will tell you what are the type of questions that you need to prepare for your exam. But for that you need to listen intently till the end of the video. Julius Caesar, Act 1, Scene 1 opens in a street of Rome, where people have gathered in a large number to welcome Caesar after his victory over Pompey's sons. The day is 15th February 44 BC. They are in a very festive mood. They are there to celebrate Caesar's victory and the festival called Lupercalia, in honor of god Lupercus, the god of fertility. It looks like a holiday all around. At that time, two tribunes, Flavius and Marullus, enter. They dissuade, that means they try to stop the crowd from celebrating Caesar's victory. They rebuke a number of craftsmen also from absenting themselves from their work and celebrating Caesar's victory. They remind them that they had also welcomed and honored Pompey the Great, but they have forgotten him now. They chide them and call them cruel, hard-hearted Romans. The tribunes call the crowd stupid, unfeeling and callous. But the Roman citizens ignore the rebukes of the two tribunes. The two tribunes who are opposed to Caesar ultimately succeed in dispersing the crowd. Flavius and Marullus then remove the scarves, the ribbons, the decorations, the trophies from Caesar's statue. They want to cut him to his size and present him as an ordinary person. They do so because they are jealous and scared of Caesar's growing popularity. They think that if they do not clip his wings, he would keep them all in a state of slavish fear. Thus, the opening scene of the play presents a conflict between Caesar and some members of Rome's nobility. The ordinary Roman citizen loves Caesar as great war hero. But the members of Rome's nobility are jealous and scared of Caesar's popularity and are opposed to him. They suspect that Caesar will assume the power of a dictator and become a king. But they want to retain their Senate rule. This conflict, which dominates the whole play, is actually the central theme of this play. Now, as I promised you earlier, that after discussing each scene in brief, I will also discuss the important questions from that scene. So you can note down these important questions from Act 1 and Scene 1. Number 1. Who were the tribunes? Number 2. Why was the crowd jubilant and why were they rejoicing? Number 3. Why were some elements in Rome inwardly hostile to Caesar? Number 4. How did the hostile tribunes manage to disperse the crowd? And number 5 and last, What did Flavius ask his colleague to do and why? If you can prepare these 5 questions, you can cover all the important questions of this Act 1, Scene 1. Now we move to Act 1, Scene 2. In Act 1, Scene 2, Caesar along with his wife Calpurnia and his courtiers and followers appear for the celebration of the feast of Lupercal. They are going in the form of a procession. Caesar had told Mark Antony, who is his best friend, to touch Calpurnia during the celebration. The Romans had a belief that a barren woman could conceive if she was touched by one of the runners of the Lupercal. Caesar had instructed Mark Antony to do so because Calpurnia had not conceived for a long time. All of a sudden, a soothsayer in the crowd calls out for Caesar and tells him to beware of the Ides of March. Caesar pays no attention to him and dismisses him as a dreamer. The procession moves on, but Cassius and Brutus are left behind. Brutus is also a good friend of Julius Caesar, but he is left behind. They begin to converse with each other. Cassius instigates Brutus against Caesar and tells him that Caesar could become the king of Rome by his growing popularity and power. Caesar is growing very ambitious, which is harmful for Rome as a republican country. Brutus tells Cassius that he loves Caesar but hates the unbridled power that he has acquired for himself. Here, Cassius narrates the physical and mental weaknesses of Caesar to highlight the merits and virtues of Brutus. He tells him that he himself saved Caesar's life while they were swimming together. He also nursed him while he was ill and cried like a feeble girl. He tells him that if Caesar is like a colossus, they are petty men who walk under his huge legs. He tries to win over Brutus by saying that the word Brutus is as great as Caesar, but fails to get the comments from Brutus. The procession returns and Caesar is angry. Caesar tells Mark Antony that Cassius worries him. He is a lean and hungry fellow. Such men are dangerous and not to be trusted. On the other hand, Casca tells Brutus that Mark Antony offered the crown to Caesar thrice, that means 3 times, but he declined the offer every time. Casca is convinced that he declined the offer to show to the Roman people only that he did not wish to be a king. Cassius and Casca try to press upon Brutus that Caesar is ambitious and his ambition is dangerous for Rome. They exhort him to love Rome more than Caesar. Brutus promises to think over, for Cassius has said, and leaves. Brutus says he will think over about what Cassius has said. Saying this, he leaves. In this scene, that means Act 1, Scene 2, we come to learn that Caesar enjoys immense popularity and power. Mark Antony underlines this power by saying, when Caesar says do this, it is performed. Caesar is depicted as an arrogant and fearless person. Brutus suffers from a conflict. He loves Caesar, but dislikes his growing ambition. Cassius and Casca are the conspirators against Caesar who tried to win over Brutus to their side. Brutus is known for his integrity and honor. Now, dear students, for the important questions that I promised you. Question number 1. Who wants Caesar and why? 2. Who stays behind as Caesar moves along with his company? 3. What was the subject of conversation between Cassius and Brutus after Caesar leaves? 4. How did Cassius criticize Caesar and why? 5. Who was Casca? What did he report to Cassius? 6 and last. Explain Cassius' satisfaction in his soliloquy. So these 6 questions should be able to cover all the important questions from Act 1, Scene 2. Now we move on to Scene 3. The third scene opens at night on March 14, 44 BC. There is thunder and lightning. Casca meets Cicero and narrates to him many supernatural happenings. He talks about the rain of fire, about the walking dead, about an owl hooting at noon in the marketplace. He is terrified and thinks that these are ill omens. Cicero advises him to go home. Cassius comes there and meets Casca. He tells Casca that these ill omens are the result of Caesar's tyranny. Gods seem to be angry over the state of affairs in Rome. Cinna comes and informs that the other conspirators have assembled at Pompey's theatre and are waiting. Cassius hands over some forged papers to Cinna and asks him to throw them at Brutus's residence through the window. Cassius is very eager to win over Brutus to his side because Brutus enjoys respect and honor in Rome. Now this scene shows the effect of storm on the characters. Casca is terrified and runs on the stage with his sword drawn. Cassius actually considers it the right opportunity to incite the other conspirators against Caesar and to do the dreadful deeds. The storm and other ill omens represent an inner turmoil in Brutus' mind. Cassius thinks that this is because Caesar's misrule. Now the important questions from this particular scene, that is Act 1, Scene 3. Number 1. What were the horrible sights witnessed by Casca at the stormy night? 2. What was Cicero's account? Question number 3. How did Cassius acquire Casca's and Cinna's support? 4. What instructions do Cassius give to Cinna and why?
So, that was Act 1. And by this time, I'm sure you have understood it well. By chance, if you haven't, listen again and again. And along with listening, you must read the book also. That's important. Listen intently. And if you feel that my video has helped you in any way, you please like the video, press the bell icon, subscribe my channel, because I will soon be coming to you with other acts. Till then, goodbye, good luck.